Is your cat doing something that you don't want them to do and you're looking for a solution for it? Have you tried some things to try and stop the behavior but haven't been successful? I'm here to help you out. It can be so frustrating to not have a cat listen to you. The good news is that there are solutions. However, the approach a lot of people take ends up not being the correct solution in the extreme majority of cases. I want to go over the problems with the strategy that most people try and offer you 2 solutions that can be applied to a bunch of different cat behavior problems. I don't want to say every cat behavior problem because some of them require a different approach. However, these solutions are going to work for a lot of behaviors that you don't like your cat doing, especially things that are kind of annoying. I'm going to give a few specific examples of behaviors and ways that you could apply these methods. However, my main focus is going to be on giving you a general overview of how to use this, because you might have a different behavior concern than somebody else, and I want this to be broadly applicable. When trying to stop a behavior that a cat is doing, most people try to stop the behavior. As strange as this sounds, that's actually not the best approach. Most people try and stop a behavior by startling or scaring or annoying their cat. They may use methods such as a spray bottle or tinfoil or spike mats or shock mats or yelling at their cat. They may try giving them a stern lecture and creating a PowerPoint, which does not seem like an effective method because cats really do not like PowerPoints. There are better methods that actually are going to work and are going to get you better results than simply trying to stop the behavior. First, we should go over why simply trying to stop a behavior just does not work. If your cat is motivated enough, they're just going to plow through whatever deterrent you are trying to use. I see this happen all the time with the motion-activated air canisters. Those things are awful because they claim to be a humane solution, but they still rely on causing your cat to be stressed all the time. And cats tend to just keep going right through them. This is also a problem that dog folks will see with electric fences. If the dog is motivated enough to get out, they'll just keep going. Second, depending on the method that you use, it may backfire on you. The number of times I hear people say that they use a spray bottle on their cat and the cat continues to do the behavior, actually they end up doing it more, is very, very high. The same goes for yelling. Yelling at your cat really isn't going to do anything other than give your cat attention, which attention is a really great way to get your cat to do something. If they're like, ooh, you're paying attention to me, I'm having fun, they're going to keep doing that behavior. That's not what you want. The same goes for cat pee. People often try using deterrence to stop their cat from peeing in a particular location. What doesn't happen is your cat starts using the litter box consistently. What does happen is your cat pees in a different location. They pee on the other side of your couch. You now have to get a new couch. In other cases, for things like play aggression, for example, where you're spraying a kitten, cute little kitten, the poor thing, to try and get the kitten to stop biting you while they're trying to play with you, what's going to happen is the kitten is going to become more aroused and they are going to actually be more likely to bite you. Or they may go from being playfully aggressive, which isn't great, but it's better than the cat being fearfully aggressive, which is going to typically be a little bit more dangerous, and you're going to get a more severe injury from it. In other words, the spray bottle is not only going to worsen the problem, but it's going to take it from a potentially really benign and easy to solve problem into a more dangerous one. You've just created a bigger problem for yourself. So if you want to stop a behavior that your cat is doing and trying to stop the behavior isn't the solution, what should you do? I've got 2 strategies here that I'm going to share with you, with the second one actually being the one that's got more wide applicability. So stick with me here because both of them are going to be helpful and they have different applications in different situations. As a reminder, these are general strategies, so depending on what behavior you're looking to solve, you need to think a little bit about how to apply them. The great thing about these methods is that they're widely applicable to different scenarios, so you can apply them in many different ways. Strategy number 1. Rather than focusing on what you don't want your cat to be doing, think of something else that you would be okay with them doing. Now, don't get cute with me and say nothing, or anything along those lines. Remember, I'm trying to help you. Being sassy to me doesn't help. I realize this is a video and you're not actually being sassy to me, but you get the point. Really, think of something else and think of something specific. A great and easy example of this would be if your cat is scratching your couch, you would say, I want them to be scratching a scratching post instead. Bam, you've come up with an alternative behavior for your cat to do. Focus on the alternative behavior and encouraging your cat to do that instead, rather than just trying to stop the behavior. This has two big benefits. Your cat is going to do the behavior instead. And whatever it is that your cat is doing that you don't want them to do, chances are there's a behavioral need or there's something that's motivating them. If you give them an alternative to do instead, your cat is going to be like, yeah, that need is scratched. I'm going to go do that instead. I don't need to do the first behavior. This also has the effect of stopping the behavior that you don't want, especially if you pick a behavior that is incompatible with the behavior that you don't want. You usually don't have to worry about trying to stop your cat from doing the behavior because they're going to stop on their own. Need is met, they have something else to do instead. As you reinforce the behavior that you want more and more, by definition, they are going to start doing that behavior more and more. Reinforcement means a behavior increases, so that behavior is going to become more likely. You're replacing a behavior you don't want with something else. To use another example, if your cat is dashing out the door, you can train them to go sit in a particular location in response to the door opening. That's a little bit more complicated than I have time to explain how to do today, but it's the concept that matters. It's an incompatible behavior. Your cat can't be running out the door and running in the exact opposite direction at the same time unless they can be in two places at once, in which case I think there's a few physicists who want to meet your cat. Again, you don't need to stop the behavior because it's going to stop on its own. This is great if you're lazy because it's less work for you. Training an incompatible or an alternative behavior is great for a lot of situations, but it's not going to work in every situation. Again, don't start from the perspective of how do I stop this behavior? Instead, change your thinking and think about what is motivating the cat. In the behavior world, when we're thinking of why an animal is doing something, we ask ourselves WTF, which means what's the function, not the other meaning of WTF. Because we can't ask the cats directly what the motivation is behind their behavior, let's start with an example with humans. I'm actually going to use your behavior. Yes, that's right, your behavior. Something motivated you to seek out this video and to click on it and to start watching it and to keep watching it, and something is going to motivate you to click the subscribe button so you keep getting videos like this sent your way. It's probably that you're trying to learn more about cats. Or it may be that you have a specific cat behavior problem that you're looking to solve, and you're hoping that this will provide a solution to it. Either way, you had a motivation to do this behavior. If I were to, for some reason, want to stop that motivation, I would remove the cat behavior problem. I would address the underlying reason why you're doing the behavior. Let's take it back to cats now. Try to figure out the function of the behavior for the cat. And some things that you want to be careful about avoiding are things like spite or anger or revenge, because those aren't things that cats are cognitively capable of coming up with. Cats also don't have a sense of morality. That doesn't mean they're immoral or they're evil or anything like that. It just means that morality or good or bad or they should or shouldn't, that doesn't motivate them. You want to think of a different reason. It could be that they're enjoying the attention or they're hungry or they want to snuggle or they want to play or there's some other reason that's motivating them. Once you figure out what the underlying reason is, you can address it. Now, not every underlying reason is going to be something that you are going to naturally come up with on your own. If you're looking for more general information on cat behavior, I have a whole bunch of resources on my blog that I spend a lot of time putting together and updating and trying to make sure that people have a really great resource available for them. So check that out. Otherwise, I will also put a couple of links to some really good cat behavior books in the description of the video, so then you can check those out if you are so inclined. A great example of figuring out the function of the behavior would be if your cat is waking you up in the middle of the night. Your cat isn't going to wake you up just for funsies. What are they trying to get? Are they trying to play? Are they trying to get you to feed them? Please do not feed your cats in response to them waking you up in the middle of the night. That is only going to make the behavior worse. What is it that your cat is trying to get out of that? Once you figure out the underlying reason for the behavior, you can address it. For example, if your cat is hungry in the middle of the night, rather than you waking up to feed them, you can use an automatic feeder. I'm a huge fan of automatic feeders for this specific problem because they're better than waking up yourself, and it removes you from the act of feeding your cat. This allows you to sleep in, and your cat's going to be like, well, the robot is going to feed me, so I don't have to bother the humans. There are automatic feeders for both dry and wet food. I have a guide on automatic feeders on my blog that I will put a link to, and I will also put a link to a couple of my favorite automatic feeders in the description of the video. These solutions aren't necessarily quick or easy fixes. That's okay, because you're going to get better results by actually addressing the core issue. If these aren't working, you may have assessed wrong, and you may need to think about, is there something else that could be motivating the cat's behavior? Or you may need to implement the solution differently. Some of these solutions, depending on your cat and depending on what you're trying to address, need to be implemented in a certain way in order to get the best results possible. You don't get credit just for doing them in some cases. Whatever unwanted behavior you're dealing with your cat, I wish you luck. It can be really frustrating to deal with unwanted behaviors in cats, and I hope you are successful in finding a solution for them.